Welcome to the virtual lunch.
So I'm Kat Moon. I teach at Vanderbilt Law School. I've practiced law for about 20 years before I started teaching, starting my fourth year at Vanderbilt. I'm also a Vanderbilt grad. I teach in the program on law and innovation, and I'm also the person who designs the curriculum for our program in law and innovation. So it's been around since 2016. So I teach things like laws of business, blockchain, and smart contracts. I rolled out legal operations this semester. My core class is called Legal Problem Solving. It gives students the hands-on opportunity to apply the principles, methods, and tools of human-centered design to really reinventing the delivery of legal services. Last year, we created a platform called our Institute, in which we take our innovation offerings and reconfigure them and offer them to practicing legal professionals. So now those heretofore have been solely in-person immersive experiences. And now, like the rest of the world, we are rushing to create really engaging online experiences. And the really cool thing about that is I think you can really engage with a much broader audience. I also have launched before COVID this initiative that I call #MakeLawBetter. I tweet about that constantly on Twitter. I just issued a call to folks who consider themselves legal innovators to step out of the shadows and be known, to connect with each other, because daily I experience the phenomenon that we all tend to work in and stay in these relatively small silos. So there's a whole lot to be gained just by simply connecting with a broader community. And the other purpose in the immediate COVID crisis is to make ourselves, as Jordan Furlong has dubbed us, the army of innovators, known to all the leaders who I believe really need our help right now. Innovation, I define it to be simply change that creates value. And you can be innovative no matter where you are or what you're doing. Absolutely amazing change can happen when you aggregate small and incremental change by bringing people together who are interested in just making things better wherever they are on the spectrum of law. I think that we amplify each other when we can come together and really combine efforts. This really dovetails into something that Jim Sandman said at the LSC Technology Conference in Portland in January. He rolled out a 5-point plan for leveraging technology to create greater access to justice. His first point was, we really need to share more and connect more so that we, instead of reinventing the wheel constantly, we can actually help each other and build on each other's work. I regularly meet people who are building something to solve a problem that I know for a fact someone else has already built a solution to. And not that that solution is perfect for the instant case, but there definitely is learning to be had. And folks just don't even know these other things exist. And I think anybody who is interested in trying new things to make law better is an innovator. I want to go back to the idea of problem solving and having people around the table who are not just lawyers. This is critical. It's fundamental to our ability to make law better and move change forward. And not simply because we need to embrace other people's views and invite other people in, but actually there is a growing body of research, of data to support that when you get a group of cognitively diverse and diverse in other ways, problem solvers together around the table, you get a better solution and you get to the solution more quickly. The other point I want to make is that we simply can't do this alone. We're not enough. There aren't enough of us. And we are all trained essentially to problem solve in exactly the same way. I use the word hubris a lot to describe the mindset that really, I think, prevents us from meaningfully going forward in ways we could if we were much more expansive in our thinking, both as to who is quite qualified to be trying to problem solve with us, and as well as what we consider what are valid solutions. Foundational to true innovation, to truly making law better and fundamental change, you must have mindsets and cultures and a culture in place that supports it. And I am not observing that it's truly possible in a traditional culture. Folks are deeply, deeply wedded to the way they do things. A fundamental inability to grasp the truth that innovation demands experimentation. That entire process is so anathema to the way lawyers are trained that, I don't know that I can point to any single organization and say they're doing it. Are there pockets in organizations? Absolutely. They will tell you unequivocally they are doing it within a greater culture that that itself is not at all innovative. I think what's so interesting about this moment is that the pandemic is truly revealing cracks that are growing into fissures that will soon become a crevasse that will be impossible for us to cross. We're breaking under the pressure and the weight of what this pandemic is doing. Most folks have been able to just ignore them and go on about their daily existence. And perhaps coming out of this, there might be a way for us to jump in these cracks and really push them wide open so that we can start making some true change systemically. We have a lot of data to establish that our systems fail to serve their intended purposes. The folks who are most adamant that we can't change anything are now really being disproven because we are seeing change happen. We are seeing courts become a service, not a place, because the courts have to. And I do believe we have some court leaders around the country and around the globe who are going to demand that the change taking place now to deal with the immediate crisis is not rolled back, but in fact, these things are important to make that service actually serve its intended purpose. And the dare for Make Law Better is twofold. It's a dare to those of us who see better ways and want to be part of the change to stand up and get loud. We have to put our hands up. We have to put out into the world, here's what I'm doing, here's what I've done, here are my experiments, and demand to be heard. Leaders at all points across the spectrum have an obligation right now in this moment to seek out help from people who have innovative mindsets. And my fear is, and I'm seeing this, that there are a lot of people making these very important decisions without any counsel from anyone who could be described as having an innovative mindset. I also am getting feedback from folks across the spectrum of law who are losing their jobs, who are having their salaries cut. Way too many of them fall in the category of being innovative thinkers, frankly. My challenge, my dare is bring those who have innovative mindsets in and let them help you with your decision making in this moment. People who wear a title with innovation in it, especially in a law firm or a traditional legal business setting, they are simply not empowered to do real work. That's a culture problem. That's a leadership problem. Way too many of them get to do little projects that are brought out primarily by PR and marketing folks and frankly exploited for business development purposes. If you're not aware of the Civil Resolution Tribunal in British Columbia run by Shannon Salter, it is a model for empowering the people in the system with the problems to solve the problems. Most of these problems are solved without any involvement by a lawyer or a judge. They are solved by the people through a process, through pretty simple technology. It's a phenomenal model for, frankly, building something outside of our current systems to help people solve their problems. So we have to acknowledge that a lot of people are actually hacking their own solutions around us. They don't care what we're doing because we're not helping them. We're so disconnected from the people that we're supposed to be serving. I agree completely about this endeavor being primarily a human change management endeavor. Really, foundationally, this is about culture and mindset, right? And we know that those things need to shift for the legal profession to really engage meaningfully in innovation. What I want to invite people to do is really approach this with as broad a mindset as possible. Don't circumscribe and think that it has to be great systemic change to have impact, or it can only be small incremental change. All of these things can happen. They can happen concurrently. They just have to happen. Each of us can be part of the army of innovators. We can do what we can where we are with what we have. And when we come together, we can build upon that and really maximize and amplify.
Come on, everybody!